Welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ZEBEC price one more time, as we can see that we have got an excited market here. Maybe not as dramatic as it has been in the past, but I think we are setting this stage for something big to happen here right across the board. So we'll talk about that in today's video. But before we start, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video by just delicately tapping the like button. It will, of course, communicate with the YouTube algorithm and say that this video is relevant and it gets shown to as many people as possible. But let's just jump right into it. We are looking at the ZEBEC price on a daily time frame, and of late we have seen that there has been like a falling wedge that has developed right there. You can see, a few touch points right there and there, and testing this downward sloping resistance. So as of now, you can see that the ZEBEC price over the last 3 days has managed to break out of that and close a few daily candles out of, this downward sloping resistance. So technically speaking, we have flipped, the downtrend into something that is a bull trend. We are actually seeing almost the same thing on, the other indicators of the short term. So if I may just go ahead and open here the basic indicators, we're looking at the RSI, and we are seeing that slowly but surely it's creeping above that 50 mark, which is usually a resistance. But also, when the ZEBEC price in the past has managed to flip it towards the upside, we've also seen some great moves. A quick, example of that is the recent price action that we saw right there, which was about 100%. And you saw that it was coming out of, the RSI, just breaking above that 50 mark. So we also have that happening right now. But I think one other thing that is a little bit important also is the MACD indicator, which is showing that momentum has kind of flipped over the last few days, also turning into like the bullish side. So that's great for ZEBEC right now. But I think also we have been talking about how the structure compares to what Stellar Lumens was doing back then in 2017, 2016. I mean, that's really a positive structure altogether. I'll show you that in a second, but I just wanted to say that this falling wedge, if it actually plays out really well, we've got a potential to go ahead and, touch the previous all-time high here, and we're looking to expand even higher. If you've been watching the channel for quite some time, you hear me say that we've got price targets as high as like 2.5 cents. And the reason for that is we are looking at the Fibonacci retracement 2 and taking a look at, the peak that we set right there with ZEBEC around 0.007, I would say, and grabbing it from, the very top until the bottom. There you have it, 2.4, 2.5 is thereabout. But of course, this is not enough. We also refer to a very important structure that you see here on the right hand side. And of course, we have already pointed out similarities of this whole Wyckoff accumulation pattern, which you see almost the same thing here with ZEBEC. Then of course a breakout, back test, then off and away you're going for the final one. Breakout, a back test, off and away you're going for the final one. So I think in the last video we're also just going to take that fractal, just trying to imagine how this would look like, and we also were establishing that this thing may actually not take very, very long for, ZEBEC to go ahead and realize the whole thing. Now, one thing that ZEBEC has to do in this moment is to hold, this line at least like 0.0034 in terms of the dollar valuation, because we were saying that it was a very much strong support here for Stellar Lumens back in the day for that parabolic run to start building. So things are looking quite great here for ZEBEC in terms of like the general structure. I mean, they don't get similar like this, in most cases, but we have got it and we are lucky. So we'll be waiting to see what eventually happens by them. Other than that, I mean, if you take a look at, the macro conditions, what everything else is doing, especially the Bitcoin price, we are seeing very, very encouraging signs. As I had mentioned a little bit earlier on, that we are at the verge, or even like, centimeters away or inches away from a new all-time high here for Bitcoin. And this weekly candle that we have is really, really fantastic. I will just show you in a bit why this is very, very important. It's just because the previous weeks, I think you can see here, had been finding a resistance, but this one looks very much different. If we happen by Sunday night, we're closing this weekly candle where it is or close to where it is at this point, I think that's going to be a massive, massive win. And it's a goal signal for the rest of the market, including ZEBEC as well, to say, what, it's time maybe for that parabolic run. So the stage has been set. Everything is excited. When you look at the stock market, almost everything is also in the green. I'm saying almost everything. Pretty much all indexes are in the green at this point, including the Russell 2000, the S&P 500, Dow Jones Industrial Average. Everything is in the green right now. So we have the stage for ZEBEC to go ahead and perform and do something extremely great here. We also don't have the total market cap of altcoins yet breaking out, but it's looking like, sooner rather than later, you're going to be able to close at least the highest weekly candle ever with altcoins. Now, the reason why I bring this thing up is, it obviously directly affects what the ZEBEC price does. And if I may just go ahead and show you how the relationship has been in the past, you get to see a very strong correlation right there. So if this thing is going to be going on to break into new all-time highs there, I think ZEBEC has got all the juice to go ahead and push also for that, final parabolic state that we've been talking about, and saying that Stellar Lumens was able to do exactly something like that. I was talking about it in previous videos also, saying that when we were comparing, the current market cap of ZEBEC and where Stellar Lumens was back then in 2017, the, market cap are basically the same thing. And, Stellar Lumens was able to go ahead from, the support level that we've been talking about to its peak. It was pumping about a 35x. Now, can ZEBEC go ahead and pump another 35x here? I think it's a little bit unrealistic at this point. That's why I was saying that at least if we can go the full Fibonacci scale right there towards 2.5 cents, I think it's a win. However, that may also be an underestimation, because what we saw with Stellar Lumens back in the day, let me just do that one more time, from the very top right there until the bottom, you can see that this Fibonacci scale was exceeded very much. So, ZEBEC has got the capability to do that as well. It can draw a lot of eyeballs, that's one thing for sure, and the potential is there. But even in that situation, you can see that once you exceed 2.4 cents, 2.5 cents, the next big price target that you may be targeting is right around 5 cents there. So these are what I would say the most likely price targets. I know people have got higher price targets, like maybe $1. I saw somebody saying $2 and stuff like that. I really can't say much to that, but I can talk about what I have done research on myself and taking a look at, how previous cycles have been. It's much more likely, in my opinion, that we hit 2.5 cents. Almost like a guarantee. Of course, this market has taught me not to be too confident and arrogant. You'll be humbled very much, but we'll see. It's a risk that we always are willing to take as crypto traders, but whatever the case may be, I think you have the structure there. Then of course, we are also looking at the bigger picture where the rest of the market is very much close correlation there with the ZEBEC price. It looks like we're going to break into a new all-time high here. I think it's going to excite everything, including ZEBEC. We also have got great indications in terms of like the indicators, very simple ones, MACD and stuff like that. So that was it in today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family. And if you want to be seeing more and more of this ZEBEC content, feel free to subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.